And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media, always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate plans, tax plans, self-defense, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage you so that we can help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. Give us a call. Shoot us a text message. We had a lot of calls coming in daily now from folks looking for real estate advice, legal advice. We got lots of attorneys associated with the show, credit improvement advice. There's lots of ways. Our off-air number is the way to reach us. That's the 670-7372. Also, check out our website, consumerqb.com. We've updated the website. It's looking good, consumerqb.com. Now, you can see links to all of our expert contributors there, the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida that we've assembled, we've vetted, and we bring on the show to help you understand more about your buying decisions, helping you avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent in our community. Intelligent Talk Radio, I've got some intelligent folks here in studio. Let's go around the horn now and make our introductions. Thomas King in the house, Florida Firearms Academy. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, Brandon. Great to be back in the States and back on your show.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Thanks for coming in. We've had some accidental shootings we'll talk about. We'll
yes.
talk, another school shooting.
Another hot topic's the teacher with firearms.
Yeah, man. That's right. Gun safety. And also Fred Muth back in the house, a.k.a. the Tin Man.
Tin Man is back. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here with you guys. I love being in the middle. That way I feel like I'm well protected. Please excuse the marks on my face and the Band-Aid. I get into it with the dermatologist. She had a knife, I didn't.
Okay, so there you go.
She won.
You gotta love the Florida sun until they do this to you, right? Anyway, things are great, Brandon. The business. I always say this, and this is not hype. This is reality. Talked to two realtors the other day. One called an hour before the other, and I said, I'm still working on the first one's bid. The proposed property with the enclosure, that's the decision maker on what the enclosure is going to cost. What a great time to be in business.
Nice.
You would know.
I like it, man. Market's hot. Things are
Market
good.
is hot.
Yeah, we're in a shift, though. Got a little bit of a real estate shift going on. So, it's kind of difficult educating some of the sellers out there on the shift and what's happening and, how the cycles happen. But
we're still in that range, at two and a half to 500,000 range, the big sellers. And anything above that, it's kind of a little slower.
Slower down, yeah. There's so many niche areas. The neighborhood I'm going to tonight, it's like a 50% absorption rate, though. So
wow.
That's like man, properties are flying off the shelf. It's close to the beach on Sarasota, close to the Siesta Key.
That's always good.
Really cool area. Great
nice.
area. Hot listing there. Jerry Brownstein in the house. Welcome in, sir.
Nice to be here. This is my first time.
Yes, sir. Good stuff.
And I'm in the life insurance business, born and raised in Tampa, Florida.
Nice.
My office has always been in Tampa, and I've been in the life insurance business 54 years.
Very cool, man. Decades of experience.
There are so many things about life insurance that people ask, question, can I get insurance? I've had health issues. I had a bypass surgery. I've got diabetics. I got one kidney. And unless somebody can sit down with you and spend time with you and get to know you a little bit better,
right,
they really don't know if they can help you or not.
Right. Yeah, you got to have that detailed conversation. There's a lot more than just that initial phone call. A lot of times you want to get face-to-face and just really dive into the details.
And that's a hard thing to do these days because so many people want to buy their products online.
Yep.
People say they can do this for them, and they really can't until they look at medical records
Yep.
and really try to help the client out.
We see it all the time, especially with some of these national lenders, the big names. I don't have to say it. You know who they are. They spend lots of money on these commercials, but then you come to find out about half of their deals fall out because they charge upfront fees.
Right.
So they get the upfront fee money from the client looking for a mortgage, and then they don't care if it goes through underwriting because they're taking the cream of the crop off the top, and that's the stuff they can package up as a mortgage-backed security, sell on the secondary market, and make the most amount of money. They're gonna make more money over par.
You spend $100 million on commercials, Jerry?
Not yet. I think the best commercial is by your clients being really happy, referring you to other people. And I'm
Absolutely.
sure everybody here feels the same way.
That's the majority of the business that
That's
I write
right.
is
Great.
referral or repeat. It's amazing.
And your clients, if they're really happy with you, or if you've gone into a sad situation where someone's passed away, and you go in and bring them a large amount of money to keep that family together, a client to be able to pay off a mortgage or be able to send their kids through college or buy out a partner, they need the assets, and that's what I've done many, many years for people.
I love it. I love it, Jerry. All right, here in studio, this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that they are a first-class organization. They do a great job, local or even a long-distance move. Brothers Easy Moving should be your choice, and they are among the best reviewed Tampa movers. Google, they have a 4.6 rating, 4.5 rating on Yelp, and they're also an A rating on the Better Business Bureau and Angie's List. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Give Gary Thacker, the owner, give him a shout out. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take him up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And I'm going to be speaking at an event. My wife and I both are speaking at this event at the Greater Tampa Realtors Association coming up on the 20th. It's Become a Better Agent, BABA 31. Become a Better Agent. And this is at the Tampa Realtors Association. I'm going to be talking about negotiating like the FBI. Really cool strategies on negotiation, tactics and strategies to help you win in negotiations. My wife is going to be talking about feng shui. She's a consultant with feng shui, and she's talking about create a better workspace with feng shui. And that's on the 20th, 1 to 5 p.m. Any realtors out there looking for ongoing education, we'd love to talk to you about that. And as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team. We got some hot listings you can check out at platinummvpteam.com. Let's jump right into it, though. We got Thomas King here in the house. And Thomas, yeah, a lot of cool things happening out there. And then, you know, when you look at some of the misfire, some of these things happening in the media, what's going on with these guys?
That's the hot
misfire?
topic right now.
Hot
Everyone's
topic.
talking about the P320, and it's going off. I would say for any firearm, definitely have it checked, inspected by a gunsmith. Make sure it's working properly. A lot of people, they put their guns in their safe. They don't go out and shoot for 5 years. They take it out. They don't know what's wrong with it, if it rusted, if the springs broke on it. So make sure you're definitely having your firearms inspected by a professional if you don't know how to do it yourself, and make sure it's working properly before you take it out and shoot it or carry it or do anything like that. Now, there is a recall, of course, on these firearms, just like a car. You know, if there's a car that has a recall and, like, I guess it's the key that was catching on fire or something, it could be hazardous. So some kind of malfunction in the way it was designed, sure, don't get with that product, or if that until that product has been corrected, then don't carry it. Make sure that you're taking these safety precautions for yourself.
Is that what's happening with these certain types of guns, or was it just something the one guy slipped and he fell that he had to hit the trigger, wouldn't he?
Well, it's also the P320. The issue was it was designed to where if you hit it from the back or out of battery, it can go off. So
Wow.
that was supposedly corrected. Maybe this was an older model that just never was sent back in or corrected. SIG does make a fine product, so I'm sure they're going to stand by what they sell now, because they still sell the P320 to this day, and it's been corrected. But I don't know about what happened to the other one. I didn't get the whole story on it.
Yeah.
But also, some people, they carry just a firearm in their pocket. That's not a
dangerous.
safe way to do it. If you've never been to a correct way to carry a firearm or class or anything, then make sure you don't carry until you know exactly how to carry. Because if you just have it in your back pocket or inside without a holster or the correct holster,
Yeah.
sure, it can go off. There are guns that have holsters with retentions on them, which are, some are bad, some are good. It all depends on how it was designed and how it was made for that firearm. So make sure you get the correct design, the correct make for your firearm. And if you're doing things like in construction, maybe you shouldn't have a firearm right in your, wherever he had it.
Mm-hmm.
There are better ways to carry a firearm. If I'm like scuba diving, I'm not going to carry a firearm. Of course, it wouldn't work. But when and where to carry a firearm is also a good key too. So
yeah, that is a good point. And at Florida Firearms Academy here in Tampa Bay, you guys are helping people understand those different dynamics, those different situations they may find themselves in, and the proper way to react.
Right. 40 different classes. Come out and sign up for one. It's not going to break your bank, but it's going to show you exactly what you should and shouldn't do, especially in defense, but we're also more than that. We do for competitions, for just fun training, for shooting. I mean, that's the whole sport of it that we love. But of course, yes, we do defensive training as well. The other hot topic right now is the teachers carrying a firearm in schools these days. Is that the vote going on right now?
That's right. Well, I thought it was passed. I got a thing that's
did it pass? I didn't.
I got to look at my.
I got a million things to check up on, but
yeah.
You know, a lot of people on one side and a lot of people on the other side. And you know what? The truth is, both have good arguments there. Like I don't believe a teacher should be forced to carry a firearm, because she may not be ready to carry a firearm. She may pull it out.
Right.
It may be used against her. Those are the kind of things that people are scared of. Maybe they need to understand that the teacher that is carrying a firearm probably does have the proper training, will be able to save kids' lives.
Absolutely.
And that's what they should really put out there, not just, hey, teachers should have a firearm. So
common sense.
It's their right to. But
out of let's say average middle school has 35 or 45 teachers, right?
Right.
Out of those, there's going to be a few that are outdoorsmen or former military or, you name it.
Some
maybe
type
they
of
moved from
training.
law. Yeah.
Right.
So those are the ones that makes a lot of sense for them to carry.
Exactly.
And why not? Now you got all these idiots that go out there and that want to go on the campus and do harm to our children. Now they know that there's going to be maybe 3, 5, 10, 15 people.
It's not a gun-free zone anymore.
That's right.
And they're not fishing a barrel anymore.
That's
so.
right. And they're going to get popped if they come in
that's
there.
scary.
They'll definitely be more apprehensive about making that bad move.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Right.
I like that part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, more from our expert contributors coming up. And we got Fred Muth in the house, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, and Jerry Brownstein coming up as well here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And our feel-good story of the day is a good one. Thousands of people donate hand-knitted bird nets to rescue groups in need of help. Stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show and owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And we help our sellers maximize the exposure on the sale of their real estate properties by featuring them on our daily show. And we're 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz. Got a weekend show on FM 1025 The Bone. And, of course, we are now on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Sony TV, Google Play, iTunes podcast out there. We're in 90-plus outlets here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hot listing in St. Pete Beach, 3607 Casablanca Avenue. This is a great opportunity for that beach property. If you've ever dreamed of or wanted that nice beach getaway, this is a great opportunity. 2-bedroom, 2-bath property, pool with a spa, fenced-in backyard. And what I really love about this property is the walkability. You come out, you make a right, you walk a short block, half a block down the road, and you're at the Hotel Zamora enjoying some appetizers, some drinks, some live music. Or maybe you want to mix it up. You take a left, you go to the Don Cesar. You're hanging out at the spa, you're on the beach, enjoying the bar, whatever you want to do there at the Don Cesar. Great opportunity, great walkability at this property. $418,000 listing of mine, and it's a great location here and beautiful St. Pete Beach. And 12610 Port Marnock. Now, this property is in Odessa. The Eagles, great community. And what I love about this property is that, you've got front and rear view water views. Got a golf course view in the back, and it's just a great situated lot here with the location. You've got no neighbors in the front or back. Opportunity to live in a golf course community. Just a great property here, Turnberry at the Eagles, and it's the best lot in the Eagles. So really awesome opportunity. $500,000 listing of mine. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, and this segment is brought to you by the Lucky Dill Restaurant. They've got a deli, they got the New York City Bar, Brooklyn Bakery, catering, and more at the Lucky Dill. Home of the sandwich that ate Brooklyn. And they are located on Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa. They've got a location on US 19 in Palm Harbor. LuckyDillDeli.com, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Lucky Dill. I love it going over there for lunch and even breakfast. I've had breakfast there before. You walk in, you got a great ambiance. It's got that sports theme, and it's just a friendly staff, excellent food, and a lot of great options on the menu. The Lucky Dill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, back here in studio, we're going to go back to Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, talk a little bit more about what's happening out there. You've got another school shooting, the decision of Governor DeSantis to allow for the guns. I think he signed the bill. Now it's got to pass the vote or something like that. Interesting times we're living in, man.
Right. It's a crazy situation. If you look at Venezuela right now, I just got back from Cuba. We did a whole donation thing over there. But Venezuela, the people over there realize now that how the Second Amendment is so critically important because they're getting shot, they're getting run over by their military. It's a crazy country over there.
Yep.
Many countries are realizing, wow, we cannot protect ourselves from our own government, and in a lot of situations, it's genocide. So.
Yep.
Right now, what's going on? I've been out of the state, so I just got back in. But, I do believe that teachers have the right to protect themselves. And I guarantee you this, if they were able and they knew exactly how to and shoot and they've been trained with a firearm, they're going to stop and save a lot of lives with this. And this, it doesn't matter schools or wherever it is. A shooting's a shooting and a mass shooting's a mass shooting.
Yep.
People just need to be aware, carry a firearm, and stop the bad guy. There's a million stories out there where there are a good guy with a gun that come up and stop a bad guy with a gun. There was just the one with the preacher in the parking lot. Preacher with a firearm stopped this bad guy from shooting more people. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's and that's the theme. And then, so what's the opposite side of the conversation? Because when we talk about this, it makes a lot of sense. We're both agreeable. But what is that other side of the conversation? It's about the assault rifles. I mean, what's their point?
Their point is, hey, why should you have to have this? They think this assault rifle is this crazy weapon that does mass destruction and damage. Can it? Sure. Can any firearm? Sure. A pistol, a Glock. A Glock can have a 50-round magazine on it, and that's a little pistol.
Wow.
So it's the reason why people that use an AR for self-defense, for home protection, it's because it's a very easy platform to use. There's little recoil. You can have multiple rounds. So if 5 people come to your house, just because you shoot them once doesn't mean they're dead. You could shoot someone 8 times, doesn't mean they're dead. You may need 30 rounds to take someone out. It all depends on shot placement, but it is a very easy gun that a little kid could shoot and be very accurate with it. So
wow.
The media portrays these things as self-destructing, crazy, firearms. And you know what? Any firearm can destruct anything that's in its way. So
yeah, exactly. And all they'd have to do is have either multiple guns, drop that one, grab the next one,
or reload a magazine.
Reload a magazine, or they can even sand it down or whatever, right, and make it where it's semi-automatic.
You can turn it full. You can make it full automatic if you wanted to. There's so many things that bad guys do that conceal it. They cut off the barrel.
Yep.
But we as legal gun people, we cannot do that, and we don't do that because we want to be law-abiding citizens. But they make these firearms into something that they're not really.
Yep.
But criminals, they do it, because they're criminals. But
Florida Firearms Academy, great location right there in Oldsmar, close to the Oldsmar Flea Market, just to the east of that on Hillsborough Road, kind of almost where it turns into Tampa Road, kind of.
Right there.
Kind of turns in almost to the county line.
We saw you out there last week.
Yeah,
actually, I was in Cuba, so I was hoping.
I love going in there and just kind of catching up with people. Quincy, it's like a family atmosphere in there.
Right,
everybody's so friendly and
we get that a lot.
Questions.
Jerry was just saying that too. So
yeah, getting that the updated information.
Mm-hmm.
And then last question for you, what's going on with the national the NRA?
Well, there's so many stories out there right now that you want to hear all sides of the story. There's one story over here, one story over there. There's so many rumors flying around. Are they in trouble? Maybe. Can they fix it? Probably. Will they do it? I'm sure they will. Will they be shut down? I'm sure they're going to do everything they can to not be shut down. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that need to be answered and corrected. Until we know more information about that, they do a lot for the Second Amendment and they support a lot for the people. Now, some people have said, oh, you know what, you allowed them to ban bump fire stocks. Well, there's a investigation going on against that, but they've done so much.
Right.
I mean, you live to fight another day.
That's right.
Was that a big thing? To many people it was. But when you give them an inch, they take a mile. So
right.
they want to be on top of everything. Maybe some things do get slipped through, but on the other flip side of the coin, there's more organizations out there that do exactly the same thing and fight for your rights, just like we do. We put a lot out there to fight for your rights, and that's why we're here on your show today.
Marty was telling me about that other one too.
Yep, USCCA. There's a lot of them out there. Just good gun supporting places and gun ranges.
Yeah. All right. So more from Thomas coming up in our lightning round. Let's switch gears. We're going to talk with Fred Muth now to Tampa Screens and Aluminum, aka the
Tampa
Tin Man.
Screens. Yeah. Hey Thomas, that's a lot to take in at one sitting. That's pretty good. By the way, guns, guts, and glory. That's what it takes to be an aluminum contractor.
That's right. You got to have the guts at least, right?
Yeah. Anyway, so the aluminum business is phenomenal. I've been doing this for 27 years, believe it or not.
Nice.
I don't know what I'm going to do when I grow up, but that's a whole other story. I would say the evolution of the enclosure it's hit. We have this new Renaissance line. Are you able to put that up on the screen?
Renaissance line?
The Renaissance line. We are the dealer. What a beautiful product. And
I love it.
We're getting. I got about 6 leads right now that I'm going to run between now and Saturday. These products are beautiful. I've sold something similar. Way back when, prior to this product being on the market, and what was similar sort of looked like it, but it was cheesy. It was chintzy. We could get a permit for it, but the wind load wasn't right. These things are strong. They're powder coated paint. They have all corrosion resistant hardware. Just unbelievable. They're just beautiful. You could build this with as a glass room. You could build this as a screen room. You could build it as an open room. Oh, it's just nice.
That is
gazebos, just an awesome opportunity.
Do you lay the
enjoy
foundation part too?
Yeah, I have a separate guy that does my patios, Bill Connor. I've been working with him since 1996, so I trust him. He knows what he's doing.
Patio covers, patio roofing, really cool.
Yeah, and of course we always talk about the water and the ground elevations. I always like to touch on that because it's such a concern in our industry.
Yeah.
And the city of Tampa right now is really pushing hard to make sure that the equation is right before they allow the permit to go through. We have to take the survey. We have to do do the math to make sure that we're not eliminating too much percolation. And you know, it's time consuming. It's a problem for the customer. It's a problem for the contractor. But I agree with it 100% because it's well needed. You don't want Mrs. Smith's water to run off on Mrs. Jones's property.
Yep.
Because the percolation factor, the minute you pour concrete, you're eliminating the percolation. And Florida alone is very low. So we have all these water concerns down here.
Yeah.
So we make sure that we take care of that.
Yeah, it's very important.
I would have a very difficult time selling something that I know is going to be wet or flooded or create flooding problems for the neighbors.
Right. Yeah, that's a super important opportunity. You know, when you look at that, you got to break it down. You got to look at the setbacks. There's a lot of decisions that you're making, and it's all important when you go and design.
That's right. And a lot of the stuff in South Tampa, some of the older properties, you may have seen this yourself if you've taken listings there. There's easements there that people never knew about. There's drainage easements, there's utility easements, there's electrical easements. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they don't know it's there, and we can't build into that. And so we pull the survey, we find it.
Got to be careful with it.
Yeah.
All right, stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show. More from our expert contributors coming up, and our feel-good story of the day. Thousands of people donate hand-knitted bird nest to rescue group in need of help. Stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, PlatinumMVPTeam.com, PlatinumMVPTeam.com. Hot listing on Clearwater Beach. Check this one out, 207 Coronado Drive. This is a high-end opportunity for development, builders. 207 Coronado just did a price reduction on it as well. $3,350,000. $3.3 million is the asking price on it, and it's right across the street from the Wyndham Grand and the Hyatt on Clearwater Beach. Great commercial development opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And another commercial listing that I've got, 7424 4th Street North, St. Petersburg. This is a corner lot gas station, commercial opportunity. There's a mini mart as well. You've got 3 service bays where you can do your light mechanical work. Great commercial opportunities from the PlatinumMVPTeam.com. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, back here in studio, we're helping you win. We got Fred Muth in the house now. Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Going back to Fred. So, Fred, when you look at the real estate game, a lot of players in the market. There's a shift going on. We talk about the shift. It's interesting too. Something else that I've been talking about lately is this is pretty cool. Keller Williams now getting in the iBuyer game right now. So, Keller Williams iBuyer program. Keller offers to debut in May. This is another. Gary Keller, the genius billionaire that he is. Now he's getting into the internet buyer sensation. So those are the latest trend was the open door. These different companies coming in saying, "Oh, well, fill out a form online and we'll give you a formal offer." And so Gary Keller's getting in that game. Yeah. But back to real estate. What a great market. What a great opportunity.
Well, since the beginning of the year, I believe I signed up maybe 12 or 15 customers. I call them customers, not clients. I believe a customer is something you sell a product to. A client, you're selling a service. Just the way I think. Okay. However, from New York, all the 917 area code, they're coming down here. And I tell them, I told the lady the other day, I said, you're number 12. She goes, is that all you signed up this year? I go, no. I go, you're 12 from New York. I go, 15 from Jersey, 9 from Pennsylvania. I go, they're all moving down. It's unbelievable. And they see it online. They see the property online. They come down. They go to these beautiful communities. What's coming up out of the ground right now. Some of this stuff is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
They look up reviews for screen enclosure companies because everybody buys a house, has to have an enclosure and a lanai. And the Tampa Screens track record is phenomenal. So the reviews gets me in the door, and then the reviews typically gets me the sale. Sometimes I got to just walk in and not say anything. Basically, they're sold when I walk in the door, and that's beautiful.
I want your job then.
Pardon me?
I want your job then.
Well, you can have it sometimes. I mean, I like to take a couple of days off. Believe me.
There you go. There you go.
I'm taking between 40 and 90 leads a week.
Wow.
It's not all good stuff, but I'm taking that many calls.
That's awesome.
I get them from Tampa Screen. I get them from referrals. I get them from realtors, many realtors, and I get them from the previous company that I represented.
And from the show.
All different ways coming at me.
Yep.
So I don't know what's going to happen when it's no text, no driving. Just kidding. I don't do that now as it is, But it's an excellent business, and the reputation of the company really helps me out as a salesman.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is a great opportunity for homeowners to improve the value of their property. It's going to reduce the marketing time needed for certain properties as well.
No doubt about it. The in-between space will do just that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great opportunities. Tampa Screens and Aluminum, and the idea is to in the real estate space, kind of looking at the bigger pictures, you're going to look at the differentiation factor. So if there's 2 houses pretty much the same, if you have it in screen enclosure, your property's going to sell faster.
It's going to sell faster.
For more money.
Yeah, and people will say, am I going to recoup the amount of money that I spent on the enclosure?
Oh, good question.
Who knows that?
Good question.
That's a very hard one to answer.
Yeah.
You being a realtor, you would know
we got to get you on with Ray, the appraiser, next time.
Yeah.
And we'll ask Ray that question because he's got some really good scenarios that he's done over the years.
Yeah, Ray, we built his enclosure. Small world, isn't it?
It is.
Ray Hall. Nice
really
guy.
Is.
Super guy.
Does a great job.
But that's the thing. 2 identical homes, one with the enclosure is going to sell quicker than the one without the enclosure. That's what we've seen in this industry.
Yep. Yeah, and so, from a consumer advocate perspective, that's what our show's all about, consumer advocacy. We've had you on the show, with Chuck Peterson in the past. Some of our expert contributors been around for a long time friend of the program. The advice to the consumer regarding contractors, and not just specifically your industry, what do you say to people, when it comes to being diligent?
Okay, you really should check the license and the license number. I have actually seen where some talented ham and egger, we call them, actually had a license number from another contractor on his business card.
Wow.
That's a stretch, but that goes on out there. You need to check the license and make sure that they are licensed correctly to bid the job. If you're thinking of doing the job without a permit, that's a problem. As a matter of fact, I was on the telephone this morning with a customer who I had already signed up, and the permit was just released, and the enclosure's not up yet. And she said she was approached by 2 or 3 other contractors that said, "Oh, you didn't need a permit to do this." I said, "Geez, I compete with these guys." I said, "It's terrible."
Yeah.
And Chuck was saying they just ran a sting down in the last time I worked with Chuck, they ran the sting down in Sarasota, right?
Probably,
and they nailed them.
He goes
right
down to
and
Bonita
left.
too, Naples.
Right and left, they nailed them, and rightfully so, because if we're playing by the rules and pulling the permits, obviously I have to put the permit and engineering charges in there.
Yep.
And then we have to sacrifice the time to get it, which is another problem.
Yep.
If I'm competing with somebody who's not doing that, it looks like I've got the disadvantage.
Yeah.
But it's my job to sell it as I'm selling it correctly.
Yeah.
We have to permit the work.
That's true.
You know, there are certain small jobs that do not require permits, which are fine. But when it comes to cages, screen rooms, patios, the Renaissance product, anytime you pour concrete, you need to pull a permit on these jobs.
And that's a good point, by the way. If you just joined us, Brandon Rhymes here. We're talking with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. What are where's the line at? You know, if you're doing a water heater in your home, do you need to pull a permit?
Technically, yes.
Technically, yes.
Technically.
And does it vary from municipality to municipality?
Absolutely. And that's where the confusion begins. Give you an example. City of Tampa, I can screen in the existing lanai without pulling a permit if the entire existing lanai does not encompass more than 149 square feet. If it's 150, I have to pull a permit. Pasco County, I don't care what the square footage is, I have to pull a permit to screen in the existing lanai. I have to pull a permit to screen in their front door.
So you're just adding screen to what's already there.
Right, and the permit charges run between $300 and $500. So on this small job,
that's a reach from the bureaucracy.
Thank you.
To get into the consumer's pocket for really no reason.
You said it, not I, but I was thinking it. Now,
I mean, I hate that, though.
That's right. Well, Hillsborough County, it doesn't matter. I don't care how big the lanai is. It's existing. It didn't change the footprint of the property or the house. I can screen it in without a permit. So, the reality of it is what you just said.
Yeah, it's a challenge because, you don't want to see, hardworking people, in my opinion, that's getting taken advantage of.
Absolutely.
Because it's not anything structurally integrity, because it's already there. All you're doing is simply replacing the screen, and it's simply just putting rubber pieces in most of them.
Well,
right?
no, this is not just rescreen. This is installing the extrusions and everything else. In other words, you have the lanai is there. It's all masonry. Okay. Now they want to screen it in. So to screen it in, we have to put the aluminum extrusions in the door and this and that. Then you put the fabric in with the spline.
Yep.
Again, depends on where you are, and the square footage is going to dictate whether or not you have to pull a permit.
Yep.
And it's. I mean, I lose a lot of work in Pasco on these jobs because I'm the high bid because I get the permit charges in there, and the XYZ Aluminum comes along and does it without the permit. You know what? I mean, I don't agree with it, but I lost the job, but the consumer saved a little money. And I can't tell you that XYZ's product is any different than ours because it's basically screening in a lanai.
Yep.
So it really creates a lot of problems. And at one time in Hillsborough County, it was required. And one day they changed the rules. And I didn't know about it. So I was putting the bids in with the permit charges, and I'm losing all these jobs. And I'm calling the people back. They said, well, Wally's Aluminum did it, so to speak. He didn't have to pull a permit. I go, well, why not? I did. He said, no, that rule was changed.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
So I lost some work.
Some rules change. Some rules sunset. Some of the laws, the big one for the real estate space too was the one that sunset where if you're selling a short sale and you have a deficiency and you sell it, that rule went away where people could, in essence, not get hit with that big 1099 from the bank. Whenever the bank sees that benefit.
Yeah, and that just think about that. So you get beat on a real estate deal. I was involved with one with a Chinese drywall property, and I took I got hit over the head on that one.
Yep.
It was we did a deed in lieu of foreclosure, cleaned the credit right up because Bank of America had their own department to handle this, and they worked very well with us. And it was a brand new property, and the builder went out of business. So we right off the bat we lost $65,000 in one day. We lost $65,000. And I wasn't going to lose any more. And I told the bank that. I said, I'm not losing any more money on this property. You let me money for defective property. They go, okay, we have a department for that. Okay.
Yeah.
On the back end, the deficiency.
Yep.
I was supposed to pay taxes on that based on the fact that was viewed as money that came to me.
Yeah.
Come
You got a
on. Are
benefit.
you serious?
Yeah. You received a tax benefit.
You received
because the bank replied that way.
That's right.
They submitted it to the IRS that way.
Yeah.
But there you go. The big guys, the lobbyists, the bankers, the politicians. They work together, make these rules in favor of them.
That's right. And then when it changes, all of a sudden it's reversed the other direction.
Yeah.
And then what one guy got beat up on, the next guy isn't going to get beat up on 10 years later. It's
That's right.
It's senseless.
All right. So Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Reach out for all of your lanais, patios, screen rooms, whatever you want to call it out there. Does a great job. Long time friend of the program. And we got Thomas King in the house coming up in our lightning round. And next is Jerry Brownstein. Jerry Brownstein and Associates right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We have our feel-good story of the day coming up as well. Stay with us. Do not touch that dial. ConsumerQB.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Ian Beck.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com for all of our real estate listings and information, of course, of how you can join our team. We're hiring real estate agents right now to our team. So every day, we're going to tell you something positive in our Feel Good segment of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so we got thousands of people donate hand-knitted bird nest to rescue group in need of help. So when the Carolina Waterfowl Rescue Group in Indian Trail, North Carolina, posted a plea asking for knitted and crocheted nests for their baby birds, they never expected such a wonderful response. The rescue group has received hundreds of packages full of baby bird nest and handwritten cards. Some of the letters read, "Please let us know if you need more nest," or "Please keep us updated on the baby birds." The packages have come in from as far as Canada and Japan. It's just so great to see that people come through and make an effort to try to help like this. And it's a great reminder for us that people care. Wildlife rehab specialist for CRW said the rescue group calls March baby season, since there's always this time of the year that they see a sudden increase in abandoned or injured baby birds. And in the past, we've gotten in around 3,000 baby birds in the summer. It's a lot of songbirds, McAfee said. And she also added that the nests are important for the baby bird's development, because if they don't have a nest holding them in, they won't, when they grow, their legs and they get hard. It troubles their development, it says. So pretty cool story in our Feel Good segment of the day. All right, so back here in studio, we got Jerry Brownstein in the house. Jerry Brownstein and Associates, longtime Tampa resident, Plant High School, and been helping people with their life insurance.
Well, it's an interesting feeling sitting here with Thomas and Fred, because being with a major life insurance company in Tampa for 30 years was fine, but I felt somewhat stymied because you feel like you want to do business with that company. But after 30 years, I have my own brokerage office, and I'm able to shop with many life insurance companies. But the interesting thing here, talking to everybody, Thomas can talk about these beautiful guns, which I've seen in his business. And Fred talks about these beautiful enclosures. I don't have anything beautiful to show. You know, in my whole career, it's like,
your beautiful smile.
The idea is that people are buying life insurance because it's a promise to be there.
Yeah.
I can't drive. Nobody can drive a policy. Yep. Nobody can smell a policy.
It's a beautiful concept, Jerry. It's a beautiful concept.
It's a concept of saying that I'm going to be there to take care of your family, and it's a promise. It's a trust. And the thing about life insurance, people may or may not realize, other products that you buy have gone up in price, whether it be anything, guns. The price for life insurance has dropped.
Really?
Because of the fact that it's based on mortality. People are living longer than they were 50 years ago.
Good point.
So people don't realize one of the finest buys out there is life insurance, because the rates have gone down.
Interesting.
And that's an interesting thing that people don't realize.
Yeah.
And after 54 years, I will not retire.
Yep.
I have a wonderful group of friends and clients that trust me, refer me to people. And it's a promise to be there when people need you.
Yeah, that's important. And I think a lot of times people don't understand the dynamics of the, just that whole community, the investment segment, of the market. I think too many times people get short-sighted. We talked about it with gun control, the people that are pushing real hard, they get caught up in the mindset of, we got to get rid of these guns, and then the flip side of that is the NRA is fighting for that, for the gun right. But the idea that they won't get shot at a mall, a shopping center, and then the flip side of the argument is, well, then those same people go and buy a lottery ticket, and they have this optimism. But relating it back to your industry, Tony Robbins wrote a great book called Money Master the Game. And he talks about how the financial industry is one of the most unregulated, and this is kind of a little bit off topic, maybe based on the products that you offer, but just in general, just to kind of warn our consumers out there, is that the financial industry, when it comes to these so-called wealth advisors, a lot of these so-called wealth advisors, financial advisors, they're not a fiduciary, so they're not doing essentially what you mentioned that you already do, which I like. You said you shop and you're a broker, you can go and shop the best terms and rates for people. people. But the other side of being a fiduciary is the fact that you're going to be putting the client's you're responsible in a legal capacity to put their best interest in front of yours.
That's right.
And I think that's a lot of times gets mixed up, and that's what led to a lot of the mortgage meltdown back in 06, 07, 08. And then a lot of times it's still running rampant in the financial services industry.
One of the major questions people will say to me, well, Jerry, how much life insurance I have? Someone told me I need 6 times income. I say, I don't know how much you're going to need. Or we're going to sit down and talk about it. We're going to find out if you have a big mortgage. We're going to find out if you have a child that has special needs, that needs a special needs trust that has to be funded by life insurance to make sure that child's okay. There's no pat answer. You cannot pigeonhole everybody or call on the phone to somebody and say, how much life insurance? I want to buy $1 million or $500,000. Maybe you don't need that much. What kind of policy?
Right.
You need it for 10 years or 15 or 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to find out what people's dreams and goals are.
Yep.
And design something for them personally.
Yeah.
Not buy something because someone said, I need to buy life insurance.
Yeah, cookie cutter situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not a cookie cutter deal. And so it's important to find someone that you know, like, and trust, and has that knowledge. So 5 decades in the business, I believe you've seen a lot of the
I have.
The products
Had
that
a lot
come
of people
and go.
come and go.
What's one of the best products? And again, that's probably a rough question to answer because there's so many different types of products. But what's one that you like?
Well, one of the best products is what's best for the client.
Yep.
There's no pat answer. I have clients that like term life insurance, so it'll last for the term, which is 10, 15, 20, 30, or 40 years term. It builds up no equity, but they get a lot of bang for their buck with a lot of coverage for a low premium.
Okay.
There's permanent. Some people say, I like that, but I want something that's going to last my entire life.
Yeah.
So we may go to a universal life product that guarantees everything for the life of the client. Then there's whole life that builds up a lot of equity. But I have clients that like different things. And sometimes someone will buy term life, which is very inexpensive, which you hear being advertised on the radio constantly, term life, and that's fine. But they also have a provision in the term life that says if you developed a health issue, you can change that by signing a form and not going through another medical exam. So there's different products, and that's my specialty, and that's what I've worked on for my career.
I love it. Jerry Brownstein in the house. Jerry Brownstein and Associates. And let's jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy.
Well, we strive not to be a success, but rather to be a value. And when you come into our store, you're going to realize we're not just a shooting range. We are more than that. We're an academy. We're an armory. We custom build our own rifles. And not only that, it's the people that work there that will teach you and show you and will gladly help you. If you come into our store, you're going to realize as soon as you come in that you're greeted, you're well taken care of, and we want to make sure that the concerns that you have, that we take care of those problems with you as well. So also we've been selling this all week. It's a Mother's Day special, so she can redeem this at any time. It's $19.99. If you buy this, it's a gift certificate for her. It's you get 50 rounds of ammo of 22, a free firearm rental. We're going to show her how to hold, load, aim, and shoot the firearm. She gets free unlimited shooting time for that day, eyes and ear protection, and she gets a free large target. So it's a whole package deal for mom.
Nice.
So make sure she's happy on Mother's Day. Don't just get her some flowers that's going to rot and die. Give her something that's actually going to be something of benefit to her.
That's right. Yeah, protect mom, protect the house. By the way, I shout out to Texas Law Shield. I signed up for that.
Oh,
US
did you?
and
Great
Texas
people
Law
over
Shield.
there. Yeah. Absolutely.
Great product as well. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum.
Well, first of all, hats off to you, Jerry. I got to tell you, 54 years, same industry, working with the same clients. The definition of a true consumer advocate.
I'm amazed myself.
Right there.
Yeah.
Hey, hats off.
That is
That's
success.
Anyway, back to Tampa Screens and Aluminum, highly respected aluminum contractor, Tampa Bay area. The reviews are phenomenal. Family-owned company. I choose to represent them on my own. They're very good at what they do, and I strongly suggest anybody, any consumer bidding out any type of project, make sure you ask a lot of questions. The questions can be redundant. You can continue to ask the same question in a different style, different manner. Make sure you get the answer that you're satisfied with, because if the contractor is reluctant to give you answers, I say it's time to shop for another contractor.
That's right.
Everybody in our business, everybody that works at Tampa Screens will be glad to answer your questions. And I am much more comfortable with any of my customers that ask more questions than I even want to hear because I don't have the time to listen, but I want them. I want the questions.
Love it.
That way, when the job commences, we know we've covered everything.
That's right. All right, Jerry, got about 30 seconds left. Top tips, nuggets of advice.
Top tips would try to find somebody that knows what they're doing, that's not going to pigeonhole you and try to have you a product they want to sell you. Try to work with somebody that you can trust or will help you design what you need for you and not try to sell you something they want to sell you.
That's right.
And trust life insurance. It's a great product. And I wish my father had more life insurance. He passed away when I was in high school, so I'm quite a great believer in what I do.
Right, yeah, very important, absolutely. Hey, another great show. I want to thank Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, Jerry Brownstein as well. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute, hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community and do something kind for one another. And we'll see you right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show pages on Facebook as well. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.